Thank you so much for joining us this week. I'm sitting down with Billy from Lamplight Theater. Billy, can you tell me a little bit about your role at Lamplight and what exactly Lamplight Theater is?
Well, I think I have a lot of roles, some of which I'm not sure I wanted. But, I founded it's been 20 years. So
wow.
In 2005, after being a part of a Christian music artist is what I was for years and years and years. And I had worked in professional theater before I actually became a music artist. And so, and I vowed never to come back to Kingsport. and so God has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because in the midst of being an artist, that's how I actually found out about CQR, because I knew Mike Perry contacted me as a Christian music artist and said, I'm trying to get this thing started here with CQR. So that's how we kind of got introduced. And then CQR became a big part of what we did when we first started. So we're thankful to you say that. But founder, producer, director, writer, just a little bit of all of it. So to get that going. So yeah, so it's been a great thing. As a part of Vision Productions, Billy Wayne Ministries. So that falls under one of the umbrellas. I mean, under the umbrella of a lot of things that we do. So Lamplight's we say we're not a theater that does ministry. We're a ministry that happens to do theater as part of what we do. So
that's cool. So tell me a little bit about, if someone's listening and says, I've never heard of Lamplight Theater. So what is exactly Lamplight Theater?
Lamplight Theater, again, it's a ministry outreach. It's a wonderful tool because people will come to the theater that normally won't go to church.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity to share the gospel with them. And every one of the productions, we share the gospel at the end of the production and give people a chance just to reflect on what's been seen or heard. Whether it's a musical review, a Broadway musical review, a comedy, we do a variety of shows.
Yeah.
We right now, of course, do Easter, Christmas, all the things that you would typically think.
Yeah.
And biblical shows, but we go beyond that and do comedy. We do, like I said, variety shows. We have a lot of different productions and also give opportunities for other writers or directors that may want to produce or direct a show. We've had guest artists that come in, so it's a really, really neat place.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. And now, so it's a theater here. It's in Kingsport,
Tennessee.
And so with anything theater related, there's going to be a lot of roles that you're filling.
Too many.
Yeah. And so what are some ways, if someone's listening and says, what, actually, I might be interested in doing something like that.
We are definitely an organization that people need to be involved with. I think, especially, it encompasses so many things, like from carpenters to, lighting and sound and costume and wardrobe to upfront administrative things. We have 3 full-time employees, but we probably have at any given time 150 volunteers that make things happen.
Did you say 150?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The smallest show, maybe 80.
Yeah.
With the cast and all the crew that run everything.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about costuming, lighting.
That's true.
All the technical aspects of it, building the set. People can find something to do, even if it's we have a gift shop during the day that's open. People can come in and kind of get to know us. And we have a coffee shop called Backstage Coffee Company.
Oh, awesome.
So you can come be a part of all that.
Yeah.
So, but we're constantly needing people to come in and just come alongside of us. So we're really hometown missionaries. And our goal is to see and enable people and empower them to use their gifts. If it's acting, singing, dancing, we do a lot of, you name it. I don't know if there's any aspect of life that we can't get someone involved. There's something for everybody there to be able to come out and be a part of everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, how do they get connected with you to see if they can fill one of those roles?
They can just call us at our box office number is probably best at 423-343-1766. They can go online at lamplighttheater.com, go to Facebook, everybody, Facebook. And,
yeah, that's true.
Instagram, all those places, social media. There's no way you could miss us if you go on there and just look us up. So.
Okay, that's awesome. And now aside from volunteer roles and acting roles and everything, if someone's listening and says, hey, actually, I would just like to see what shows you all offer and to maybe come watch one.
Or be in it.
Yeah, there you go.
We have shows going all the time. We're always in production of another one. Like we're doing Easter, finishing up Easter, but we'll go into Robin Hood, and after Robin Hood, we'll go into, our summer programs. We have AIM, which is Artist in Ministry,
Yeah.
which people can be a part of that, learn acting, music, dance, drama, whatever. And but we have something every month, so there's just no excuse not to come and be part of it all.
That's
so
cool.
you can call for the dates for auditions. They can come look at the dates for performances, and it's always a suggested donation. People can't afford it. We want people to come.
Yeah.
So if your family say, look, we can't afford it, or if you know a group that could benefit from that, we're all about ministry. It's not about money at all. Never has been. So God's blessed us with that. And so come on out and see a show. And I promise once you see one, you'll come back for another.
Yeah.
It's a great.
That's awesome. And now in doing this for over 20 years now, I would love to hear maybe a couple of stories, with being, I love how you said it is a ministry first. I would love to hear, maybe a story or two to really, push that home with those that are listening right now.
Okay. We work with a lot of at-risk and underprivileged children. And so one of the programs we have is called HALO, which is Hope and Love Outreach. And it's for kids that just struggle. And so when we first started the ministry, and doing the shows, of course, we had a lot of students that came. And out of that, I have adopted 4 boys I say adopted, I became their custodial care. Yeah. So I didn't expect that. 20 years ago, I'm like, I'm single, I'm traveling, I love what I do. And then God says, and here you're going to take, and they came there to do community service work. Yeah. And out of that, the social worker said, look, this student has been kicked out of his home, and that's abandonment in the state of Tennessee. Yeah. So I said, if we put him back in the system, he's going to end up in a place who knows where. But I think I can talk to his mom. She knows you. He's been here for about 6 months or so. Would you be willing? And I said, no. I'm too busy. My life, I was on the road. I still am on the road. When I'm not there, when I get to show up and going, I go and travel, sing, do concerts and speak. And that's what I do. And I thought, there's no way this would be a crazy life for a kid. And then my family, my dad, and other people around us are just like, we'll help you. And I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. So I prayed about it, still said no, was at this conference after that and was singing. And I shared about this kid and to be praying for this student because he needed a place to go. And we're just praying about it. And I was in Alabama, I think Birmingham. And this guy comes up to me and he has about 20 people. He said, we're going to pray with you. And we just really feel you're supposed to take this guy in. And I'm like, wow. So I cried all the way home and submitted to that. And of course, raised him, and like he's in his 30s now. And then fast forward 5 years ago, both parents passed away, and they struggled with a lot of things in their life. So I ended up getting his two of his younger brothers. So didn't know these people from anybody. Yeah, but God's brought that in. So I learned how to be a dad and learned how to be, obedient, and learning more how much God has to put up with me as his son. So, but these kids are amazing. And I thought, you're going to have to, help them unlearn everything. And they just gravitated to the love of Jesus and seeing their lives completely turn around. And are they perfect? No. And, they've made a lot of mistakes, but they've also just very committed and very supportive of our ministry. It's just been an amazing story. And in the midst of that too, another story would be my family. They weren't believers. And so I got to move to the area. God knew what he was doing. Yeah.
He always does.
And he said, and so coming to this area made a huge impact on my family. They all became the first actors in building the buildings and helped me put everything together with all these mission teams from every state away. Because I didn't know anybody here. Even though I'm from here, I was known more all 50 states. So all these mission workers would come down and help us build the building just to put it all together. And then there was my dad, who was not a believer. My dad was an abusive alcoholic. My mom looked for love in all the wrong places. Our family had broken up. They both remarried. I had 2 brothers that were struggling with drugs and alcohol and just a lot of stuff. And I prayed for years for my family. But when I came back here and they started being a part of everything, and a little bit right before I got everything fully established, they started coming around. And my dad was one that I really prayed for because I had a lot of bitterness in my heart because he was, it was just not good, from guns being pulled to things. And I was being the oldest boy with 5 kids in the family, became the protector, went away to college, the whole deal, never be back again. And again, God in his sense of humor says, you're coming back. And in the midst of that, being able to do a concert locally, which I don't get to do that much. My dad showed up at a concert after 27 years of prayer. And at the end, I offered an invitation for people who'd like to know Christ. And I looked up and my dad was standing in front of me. And he said, hey, I said, I remember saying, oh, you little faith. I'm looking at him like, what did you come for? And he said, you've prayed long enough. I need Jesus. So I got to kneel down with my dad, and he became a big part of our ministry. I mean, he became all security, took care of everything there at the theater. My mom and him, they all became best friends along with my step parents. They traveled with me and did, kind of my crew would help me a lot with concerts and with the kids, and would feed them, and just became an incredible healing for our family. So it's big. Lamplight Theater and ministry is big. When you really give your life away for nothing in return, you think it's going to be these other things, you're going to get it. But when you get to see the spiritual aspects of things and how God can change things when you're obedient, even when you don't want to be. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing. I'm stubborn. I will not. And then God says, well, okay, you don't have to. That's the great thing. But if we submit to that, wow. And we're grateful. We've been here, again, 20 years, and it's made an impact on my family, and, and of course the community, seeing a lot of people from all over the Tri-Cities come and see families come together, and they'll bring their family members that their lives are impacted. And so it's become a good thing. So,
yeah, I love that. That's awesome. And it's so cool just to see, our plans we think are great a lot of times. And then God's like, actually, this is where you need to be. And seeing it all come together, and then the lives being changed. Yeah. When you see it come to fruition, you're just like, oh wow, yeah, God, your idea was much better than mine.
Oh yeah, right.
And so I love that though. That story, wow, that's amazing. It's hard to move past something like that. So, but yeah, so Lamplight Theater in Kingsport. To get involved, Facebook page, Instagram, website.
Right. We also just so you know, some things that people could really get involved in the summer. If you've got kids that could benefit from the Halo program, we take kids to camp for free. Then we pour in their lives with backpacks and school supplies and a Comfort of Joy Christmas party at Christmas. But they could come and if you say, I can't do much, drop off snacks that we can take to camp. Come to camp one night and watch what we do. Yeah. Whatever, if you could just get involved in that aspect of things. We also have summer internships, where students come and are part of that. Like our college age students have come, and we'll have interns in the summer. It helps them on internship stuff. So it's great. And then we have mentorship programs too, where we have students that sometimes stay after that, and they'll stay with the program, and some go into ministry or whatever. So we have a lot of things, a lot of opportunities.
Okay. I need to expand a little bit on that too. Okay. So you said you have camp?
Yes.
Okay. So when is there specific dates for the camp?
Yes, we have a junior and senior high camp in the summer, and they can call and ask about the specific dates on that. This year, we're going to combine both, just because the schedule is so hectic. Yeah. Now the students are kind of separated. We did have the big main sessions together, but so that you don't have junior highs driving senior high's crazy. Mm-hmm. So if you know that, you can try to keep them spread apart for sure. But we'll be doing that in Gatlinburg area, down at Wayfloy, and doing a huge conference there for them. And then we're actually doing a cruise called SunQuest, which is another thing that we do for families. It's a family conference that we'll be doing. Okay. And we've never done that before. We do a lot of mission work. We're going to Cherokee, North Carolina, if they're interested in doing missions with us. Yeah. In Cherokee, if somebody wants to come alongside of us and go, and we do concerts and just kind of meet in that area and love on people, do some outreach. Mm-hmm. And so there are a lot of things, but the camp is under that halo, that Hope and Love outreach. Yeah. And so they can send students, they can find more about it. This year's camp is the end of June through the 4th of July, that Sunday through that Friday. and they get back before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
That we will take them down and that week just pour into their lives and just get in their business about Jesus.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that too, because, honestly, I didn't know you all at the amount that you all did. So I've known you as, a theater right here in Kingsport, putting on some amazing productions and ministry. But mentorship programs, summer camp that's awesome. Just going above and beyond and really just doing what God asked you to do.
Yeah.
And so that'll
He'll wear you out.
Yeah, for sure.
In a good way.
For sure. So that's awesome. Okay. So Lamplight Theater on Facebook, they can, if they're wanting information on mentorship, on the summer camp, volunteering, anything, they can just reach out to
I would encourage them, if they don't know us, we're on Broad Street, 140 Broad Street at the old Strand Theater. By the way, it celebrates its 100th year this year.
Wow.
So it's our 20th year. So it's
that's cool.
We're celebrating that. But if they want to come, we'll give them a tour of things. They can, and then sit down with them and they can find more details about specifics if they've never been there. Or catch us after a show if you come, or before a show. We'll be glad to meet with you and kind of give you a tour and talk about all the things that we're doing. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And so as we wrap up, before we close, I love doing this at the end, just to give you an opportunity to share what God has been teaching you lately. Just to give you kind of this platform to just speak whatever's been on your heart.
Well, I'm pretty bold. I've been in evangelism for years, and probably the heart that I have, or what God's really been speaking to me about, is being an unchanging God. I went through some things about 3 years ago, and when you can make being bold about the Lord can sometimes make you a target for a lot of things. And so I had to go through this process asking God to just teach me in the midst of it. And I used to pray, "Oh Lord, take down the enemy list," and I believe for that. Don't get me wrong; I think scriptural. But at some point, it's like, this is all good, but where am I personally? And I remember just praying for God's presence in Hebrews chapter 13. It says, God, Jesus Christ the same yesterday, today, and forever. But in the midst of all that, I would be praying, and out of that was birthed a song called "In His Presence." Was, you can tell me things are going to be okay. There can be people pray for you. You can see even the enemy disbanded. But if I just began in the midst of that every day, I just stopped after a while, because people can't make you feel okay, especially if you are suffering from anxiety or fear over something.
Yeah.
People can do their best, and that's what we're supposed to do. But I thank God every day for that personal relationship with Jesus, because in the midst of all that, I would stop and just say, "God, I don't want any answers. I don't need to know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. What I need is, I need to know that you're with me. I just need your presence." Yeah. And so God would just sit down through the power of the Holy Spirit in your spirit, and say, "I'm not going anywhere." And so when you have that kind of peace, it doesn't matter what is going to happen. It doesn't matter what the unknown is going to be, because God is truly with you. And I don't understand how people do that, live life or do what they do without the presence of God. To know, I don't know, I'm very codependent. And He's a codependent God. He wants us to want Him. He wants us to need Him, and I'm thankful for those circumstances, situation, because it makes me realize how much I am so dependent on Him, and He's that He wants me to be dependent on Him. Yeah. And so I'm thankful. I used to say, people can tell you, "Oh, everything's going to be all right. Here's the peace," but until God speaks that peace, you're never going to have it. And you cannot have that without a relationship with Jesus. And once you have that, man, all hell on earth can break loose, and God is still God. And we see that. And I love that, same yesterday, today, and forever. And He's an unchanging God. When everything around you is like chaos, He's like, "I am right here, and I'm not going anywhere." Yeah. And to know that He wants to be with me. Yeah. That's the other thing, that I don't have to scramble to try to get in. He's like, "I've been waiting for you just to talk to me. Thank you for going to all these wonderful, godly people. They'll give you these great answers, but I'm just here." Yeah. And so when you have that, it's an amazing thing. So
that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for what you're doing and continuing to do at Lamplight Theater. And so I'm just really excited to see continuing how God uses that to impact our community.
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity. And we love CQR, and your presence in this community. Lives are constantly changed and encouraged. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.